At the University of Leipzig from 1814 to 1818, Ranke studied theology and classical philosophy. From Gottfried Hermann, he learned the most meticulous sort of textual criticism. In the course of his reading of the writings of antiquity, he made a particularly thorough study of Thucydides. The only modern historical work that he found of interest was Niebuhr's Roman history, which he read with great admiration. Ranke is regarded as a milestone. He started a new movement which has given history a separate identity. To him goes the credit that he professionalized the writing, reading, research, and study of history. Since his time, history is regarded as a separate subject capable of establishing laws. Ranke is generally regarded as the first of the modern historians. In the beginning, he took no interest in history, which he called an endless number of barren notices. But Niebuhr's Roman history burned a new leaf in Ranke's mind. Intellectual curiosity and the desire for reliable information finally made him the leading historian of the 19th century. He began a systematic office of judging the past, of instructing the present for the benefit of future ages. To such high offices, this work doesn't aspire, it only wants to show what actually happened. He was the first person to apply the method of critical study to the sources. Ranke made a number of novel contributions to the writing of history. The first in the unity of the Roman Germanic world, in which the Western community of the Latin and Germanic people formed a vital link. His history of the Latin and Teutonic nations advances his views that the European civilization is a fusion of the Roman with the Germanic elements. Secondly, he presented altogether a new technique of writing history based upon a penetrating criticism of historical sources. He succeeded in combining critical inquiry into the facts with a comprehensive understanding of their significance. The third main contribution of Ranke to history is in the realm of philosophy of standing in history. Ranke is the founder of individual discipline of history. History and science are separate according to Ranke. Science is the knowledge of general laws and history is the knowledge of individual facts. History has a separate identity of its own is a theory propounded by Ranke. He believed in the first-hand material as the source of history. Ranke's method was to avoid imagination and stick to the truth. This method is known as critical historiography, where there is no scope for imagination. Another major contribution of Ranke was that he started holding seminars in which he would admit only those who want to meet, study, and teaching of history as a profession. Very soon, his seminars became an attraction for serious-minded researchers of America and Europe. Men like Lord Acton and others were his disciples. The historical seminar founded by Ranke in 1833 served to train not only many leading German historians but historical students from all over the world. The availability of records changed the nature of research. His major contribution was that he wrote a number of books. He wrote about 54 volumes. He wrote a very important book which brought fame for him, that is, History of the Popes. He wrote histories of different types, 7 Years' War, Ottoman monarchy in the 16th-17th century, and many more. He set the highest standard of research by writing these books. All the history was based on epigraphs and other sources, and those sources are to be verified and re-verified. At the age of 80, he planned to write the universal history and wrote a few volumes, although he was not able to see properly and hear properly. He was not a very good orator, not a very handsome man to look at, but he was an excellent teacher in the sense he could motivate people to do research. He used to say he has bigger family than his real one, and that was the family emerging out of the documents that should be written without the reflection of prejudices, likes and dislikes. He is not supposed to evaluate or to give judgment. Political history occupied the most prominent place in Ranke's works, while cultural and economic history remained in the background because the kind of history that can be written on the basis of documents is political history. Ranke was a very bad example of his own method or theory or principles. The principles which were very dear to him are not fully represented in his works. For example, he was a very conservative fellow. He was great defender of monarchy and the church and was against revolutions. A person who claims to be very much objective, above prejudices, biasness, likes and dislikes. If he happens to be such a conservative person, he is a good example of his own principles. As if he is writing the history of the popes and he is a religious person, that the world of God is superior to the world of men. So, while writing history, the religious person will keep on praising God and condemning the world of men. He has written only political history. Social, economic, cultural aspects perhaps have no relevance for him. He sees everything from a political point of view. His attitude towards history is very limited because political history is not the real history. Beard and others said that he is a very practical kind of historian. In the age of industrial revolution, he is against the idea of economic crisis. He is a kind of historian who is not acquainted with various developments. He doesn't seem to have a philosophical attitude at all. He is just crazy after collecting the sources and keeping them together. Making conclusions is not liked by him. Disciples of Ranke. He was very much committed to the preservation of archives. He became a lecturer. He contributed in the criticism of the sources. Veenus was one of his main disciples. He was the product of seminars of Ranke. He probably surpassed Ranke in the thoroughness and exactness of his scholarship. He wrote the constitutional history of Germany. Case Pratt was a very silent type of person, a great disciple of Ranke. He was influenced by the medieval period of German history. He wrote like a great patriot and the defender of the policies of Germany. Heinrich von Siebel was a disciple of Ranke but was against the attitude of Ranke. He wrote many volumes on Henry I. He came in politics. First, he was a critic of Bismarck. Afterwards, he became a supporter of Bismarck. By criticizing Pratt, he got a lot of publicity. Ranke wanted to divorce the past from the attitude of present, but Siebel was against it. The important factor is that his contribution is so great that these drawbacks can be overlooked, as it was he who professionalized the study, teaching and writing of history. After the training of historians, he started the method of seminars. He diverged the study of the past from the prejudices of present. The past should be seen as past and should not be seen through the present. He started publishing the journal Historiography to publish the works of research of high standard. By writing 54 volumes, he enriched the treasure of history. He inspired the study of the history of modern times. He developed a scientific approach towards the study of research. He developed a methodology towards the study of history, as he had the theory of evidence. Therefore, Acton was not wrong in calling Ranke almost the Columbus of modern history. He is the high priest of historicism, which means that history determines each event but doesn't justify it. If you want to join online classes for UGC NET history, please contact us on venus.jain2607@gmail.com or WhatsApp number 8454931380. If you have liked the episode, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.